G'day guys, on this episode about backtracking, we're installing this brand new adjustable rear Panhard rod. Now we're putting some new gear in this thing, and one of the things is this RoadRunner adjustable rear Panhard rod. So stick around and we'll put this in and yeah, we'll get going I guess. Okay, so first off, we're going to be installing this adjustable rear Panhard rod. Now it's from RoadRunner Offroad if you're interested in buying one. Now the reason we're swapping it is because we're installing some new parts, and something I've been meaning to do is to correct the track of the vehicle. Now because this is a lifted vehicle, it's 3 inches lifted. So this is the old Panhard rod. Now the Panhard rod goes up here from the chassis to the diff. Now as the diff drops lower, the angle of your Panhard, which would normally sit like that, let's say, goes from that to that. So that's reducing your length, making your diff move one way or the other. If you lower the car, your diff would stick out the opposite way. So today we're installing the adjustable one so we can correct our track as well as have a stronger Panhard rod. Now I'll put these ones side by side here on the ground just so you can see. Look how much thicker that one is compared to that. And if you lift this, that is much heavier than this. This is hollow, whereas this I'm pretty sure is solid steel. And also you can see on this one it goes around the diff. Now, first of all, what you want to do obviously is take your old one out of the vehicle and lay it next to your new one. And what we're going to do is we're going to adjust these so they're the exact same length to start off with. Righto, so I've got both my Panhards here, my old one and my new one here. So first things first, we need to line them up and make them the exact same length. By that, we're going to put the old bolt in the new one, stick him right on top in the same hole that will go in, and we're going to adjust it so it's the exact same length on this end. Now these two nuts are your locking nuts so it doesn't move while you move it on the tracks. So we want to get these so they're exactly the same. And that's it. So that was pretty easy to adjust to the same size. I'm just going to lock that nut there together. Just going to tighten them by hand. Now you can see that's pretty much the same length, and if we come over here you might be able to see this, you might not, but those holes line up perfectly. So the next step obviously is to put it back on the vehicle so we can then lower it down and do some adjusting after that. Let's get straight into that. Okay, so this is the exact reason you want to put an adjustable Panhard rod in after you put a lift kit in. So I'll show you now. So I know these are homemade flares and everything, and they're a bit in the way of the guard, but you can see how much tyre is poking out there. I don't know what that is, like 25 mil on this side. Whereas if we go on this side and have a look, and yes, these are the same. If we look down there straight, there's about, I want to say 40 mils hanging out this side. It's a bit hard to see with the darkness, but that is why we change our rear Panhard rods when we lift a car. So before we do anything, we want to take the measurements on both sides to see how much poke each side has. Then we can work out how much we need to adjust our Panhard rod. Righto, so to measure the poke on each side, all you're going to need is a a stick or a broom stick, that's something that's straight, and you're going to need a ruler. So basically, we've got our tyre here. We're going to sit this flush against the edge of the tyre, so it's touching both sides of the sidewall. And we get our ruler here, and we put it against the guard, not the flare, the guard. See if I can do this with the GoPro in my hand. I don't want inches, I want millimeters. And what have we got down there? That measurement is 80, well, I wasn't straight, 85 mils to the edge of the stick if I look down here like that. So 850 mils on this side, and we'll see what this side is. 115 mils. So what's that? 85 and 115. That's like 35 mils difference. So that's a big difference, and that is exactly why we're changing the rear adjustable Panhard rod. So now we have the specs 85 and 113. I'm going to write this down, otherwise I will forget. Now that it is the same length as the original, we've got to adjust it so each side is even. So the difference between each side, so this side was 85 mils and that side was 115 mils. So the difference there was 30. I think I said something like 35. I was close. Quick math, you know. So basically, if we divide the difference, which is 30, by 2, because there's two sides, we get 15. So that means we've got to adjust our Panhard rod by 15 mils. So basically, if you're lowering a vehicle, you adjust it by shortening the Panhard. But if you're raising a vehicle, you adjust it by lengthening the Panhard. So we've got to lengthen our Panhard by 15 mils. Behind is our pretty red calipers. We've got two nuts here, we've got our Panhard here, solid thread in body. Basically, we've got to lengthen this by 15 mils. Now, we've got to make sure we keep this like this, because we don't want it the other way, otherwise it will hit the diff. So I'm going to go ahead, I've tightened these nuts so they're flush with each other, and undo this a couple of turns so we get 15 mils, and we're going to measure it by using these verniers. Okay, so what do we got here? Not quite 15 mils on the vernier, it's a couple of turns. Okay, we've got 15 mils here. Now, mine's facing the wrong way, but don't ask me. I'm just got to flip this around and it will be around the right way. So we'll do that quickly and then we can put it in here. Pro tip number 2, use a ratchet strap when you take it off and putting it on to keep the same distance it was before. Makes it so much easier to put the new Panhard on, or if you have to put the old one on, so much easier to put it in. So I'm going to take this around, flip it around the right way. I need to tighten up my nuts as well, which we do by just tightening all the way up here. Tighten that one against here, and then we want to tighten this one against this nut. Put it in the vehicle after you've adjusted it to your correct specified length. There we go, can't speak today. Use a hammer. Right, so remember the ratchet strap trick. Now that's on, I can properly tighten that and get some force on it, and then we can tighten both these bolts up when it's on the ground so we don't stress the bushes too much. And there you go. That is how you fit an adjustable Panhard rod to your vehicle. So that's sweet. It looks awesome. It's great. I got mine from RoadRunner Offroad again. Great guys over there. They'll help you out a lot. Now, let's get this vehicle back on the road. I'm so keen to test it out.